Energy is everywhere. Since the beginning of the universe, 13.8 billion years ago, energy's been the driver of everything we know. It's powered our dynamic planet. And its many processes. It was energy from the sun, interacting with matter, that caused all living things to evolve, resulting in the wide diversity of life on Earth today, including humans. Every sensation we have comes about because of some kind of energy. Our understanding and uses of energy, and its sources over time, have dramatically changed human possibilities and activities. Yet when the power goes out, it focuses our attention on just how important a reliable energy supply is for our daily lives. It's a major event for everyone involved. One can even see it from space. When this happens, we often revert to earlier forms of energy. Fire to see. Keep us warm. And for cooking. Over time, we've developed an understanding of energy that has allowed us to harness it for uses well beyond basic survival. Mastery of fire came first, more than 400,000 years ago, using wood as the fuel. That led us to build ovens for making pottery and refining of metals from ore. We learned to use energy from wind, from water, and from animals for transportation and agriculture. Through years of exploration and innovation, humans developed technologies that harnessed energy in steam to do useful work. In fact, the invention of the steam engine triggered the Industrial Revolution. Steam engines powered railways, great ocean liners, industry, and even early automobiles. We have also used the force of moving water for centuries to turn water wheels that transfer energy to make many kinds of machines work. Today, we use water to make electricity at large hydroelectric dams, which can power entire cities, and in small-scale hydroelectric projects that provide electricity to communities or even individual homes. We can transport electricity over vast distances on the electric power grid, one of our major ways of distributing and accessing energy. In recent times, we've found new ways to generate electricity. For example, with nuclear power plants, turbines that harness wind energy, photovoltaic panels that convert sunlight into electricity, geothermal power plants that use steam from beneath the Earth's surface, and with biofuels from materials like agricultural waste and algae. In addition, we can all save money by using energy more efficiently. Understanding energy helps us manage our lives. It also helps organizations to promote economic development and improve national security. As we develop sustainable energy sources and we improve the efficiency of how we use energy, we will reduce our environmental risks, like climate change, and avoid negative impacts now and in the future. Learning about energy is important. It helps us make informed decisions about energy use and may lead to a career path in energy-related fields, including science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Everyone, however, needs to know enough to make good energy choices. Energy is everywhere, and we all make energy decisions many times each day that have an impact on our communities and our planet. Becoming more energy literate enables us all to make these decisions wisely.
What is energy?
Energy is a way to power the world.
Oh, I should know this. Energy is...
What is energy? Whoa. I would say energy, I have no idea. Really couldn't define it.
Energy is... Oh, learned this last year.
Oh my goodness, this is like, what is energy? It's the free-flowing aura out there you get from everything.
How do you use energy?
Energy every day for like my hair dryer, my lights, my computer, everything like that.
Energy is used with everything.
Like in my house, electricity, gas, my car. I don't run.
To light our house, to power my car, to get up in the morning at 6 a.m.
You use it to move.
Do the consequences of human energy use concern you?
I think that we need to find ways to use cleaner energy.
I think we shouldn't be as dependent on it, but I mean, I am really dependent on it, so it's kind of hypocritical. But I think it should change in the long run.
Oh, because if you overuse more than your portion, then everybody else has to suffer.
I need to remember to turn off the lights when I leave my house. I'm really bad at that, and my mom always bugs me about it, but just turning off all the lights when I leave, that would help.
My husband is in the energy field, and we're every day trying to conserve energy in all sorts of ways, from our Prius that we drive to the solar panels that are in our neighborhood. So it greatly concerns us.
Energy is complicated, yet it touches all aspects of modern-day life. Turning off the alarm clock in the morning requires energy. Flipping the coffee maker to on requires energy. Driving to work requires energy. Even watching this video requires energy. But what is energy? And why is knowing about it important? Energy literacy is important because it allows individuals to answer questions, make decisions, and think critically about energy. For example, most people can navigate a grocery store, differentiate between organic and non-organic products, and shop according to their family's unique dietary needs and preferences. This is a basic level of food literacy, which allows consumers to make informed decisions about the food they choose to purchase. If consumers knew as much about energy as they do about food, it would impact their perception of energy topics and could shape the outcome of elections, business deals, and consumer behavior. As the public increasingly demands emissions reductions to mitigate the worst impacts of climate change, they will need to be sufficiently energy literate to evaluate public policies such as the Green New Deal, which are intended to achieve that end. But energy policy can be difficult to explain, which is why no one seems to know exactly what the Green New Deal does.
Democrats in Congress have introduced a proposal called the Green New Deal, a plan to tackle climate change by overhauling our transportation systems, upgrading our power grids, and shifting to clean energy like wind and solar. There's a lot of cool stuff in here, but I am not an energy policy expert, so I have questions. How would these ideas work in practice? How quickly could we get them done? Are they enough to avoid the impending heat death of the planet? So to find the answers, I did what every American does when they want to know more about public policy. I tried to watch the news.
The so-called Green New Deal. Why do those three words create such anger from Republicans and even some anxiety among Democrats?
Even House Speaker Nancy Pelosi had concerns.
Republicans aim to make the Green New Deal a key 2020 campaign issue.
You say Democrats are in a way helping Donald Trump.
Green New Deal is going to be a flashpoint.
Did Democrats give Republicans a huge 2020 gift?
The Republicans see it as a key to victory for them, is it?
God damn it. I have watched hours of segments about the Green New Deal, and none of them actually explained how it might work.
So why so thin on the facts? It's probably because communicators just don't know the public's threshold level of energy knowledge. Our team sought to ascertain that public threshold by surveying a small sample of the U.S. population, using a variety of questions developed to gauge individual survey takers' predispositions to energy-related issues, as well as technical understanding of energy fundamentals and application to everyday life.
Do you believe that greenhouse gases have accelerated climate change?
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Do you believe that climate change can be stopped or reversed?
Slowed down.
Okay.
No.
I believe it can be slowed down.
Yes. I honestly have not put much thought into that, but I feel like it could be.
Okay.
Honestly, after the newest findings, I'm not sure. However, you never know if that was a means to get us to get motivated and to show that if we don't try and make some big changes on a worldwide level, that is something that could happen and be disastrous for our planet.
Do you believe that you have a responsibility as an individual to take actions to reduce greenhouse gases?
Yes, if there's something that I, as an individual, could do that would make a difference.
No.
Greenhouse gas
Absolutely.
emissions.
Yes.
What premium would you pay for electricity generated from mostly emissions-free sources?
10%.
Right now, 15%.
50.
Then 10%.
10%. So you'd pay.
Is that a lot?
Not that much.
So I think that that's a complicated question because I think that ultimately people think with their wallets first, even if they're concerned about global warming and energy usage as a whole. So it would all factor into what your budget is. I would have to say that my answer would be I would take what I would feel comfortable with for paying for that energy usage, and I would be comfortable then putting a 10 to 15% increase on that, knowing that it came from a renewable source.
What premium are you willing to pay for 100% renewable energy?
25%.
I thought that's what I answered already. That's not what I answered already?
75. I would pay a lot for that.
Okay, so up to 50, 25.
50%.
Again, you always have to consider a budget, and people are not going to be willing to pay any premium if it does not fit within their budget. But if it ultimately helped, and I think knowing that it is helping the environment and the world, 15 to 20.
What premium are you willing to pay for an energy efficient appliance like a refrigerator or a washing machine?
Well, energy efficient would save me money in the long run, so I'd say 100%.
I might pay 30% more.
25.
So 25%.
We've paid a little bit extra for that.
So 10%?
Probably 20%.
A premium on top of what it would typically cost. Again, budget plays a role, but knowing that that would ultimately save you money in the long run, 15 to 20% probably as well.
Would you purchase an electric vehicle if it was 20% more than a traditional motor vehicle?
No.
Yes.
See, I answered that question. I says, well, how do I know where am I going to plug in?
Than a traditional
I
vehicle.
might.
You might?
Yes.
Okay.
Probably not.
Is that because of the price, though, or is it because you don't want an electric vehicle?
I just wouldn't want an electric vehicle.
Okay.
That was within my budget, yes.
Okay.
Would you purchase an electric vehicle if the costs were the same as a traditional motor vehicle?
Yes.
Would that still be enough?
No, probably not.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Do you recycle?
Yes.
I do recycle.
Yes.
Yes. I like this question.
Yes.
No, I don't recycle. Because Joplin doesn't really have like recycling throughout the city. You have to physically collect your own recycling and take it down to the recycling center.
In total, 110 respondents completed our survey. 86% of respondents agreed that greenhouse gas emissions are driving climate change, but 92% felt a personal sense of responsibility to take action to reduce emissions. However, the price that respondents were willing to pay to take actions that reduce emissions varied greatly. The results suggest that, regardless of whether an individual believes that climate change can be mitigated, they feel a strong sense of personal responsibility to reduce emissions. The willingness to reduce emissions, however, appears to be negatively correlated with price. As the price of reducing emissions increases, individual willingness to do so decreases. A somewhat obvious result considering that individuals come from different means and cannot necessarily afford certain greenhouse gas emissions reduction strategies. Which of the following are sources of emissions-free electricity? Solar, wind, nuclear, hydro, coal, or gas?
Solar, wind, nuclear, and hydro.
So solar, hydro, wind, nuclear.
Solar, wind, nuclear, and hydro.
These three are solar, hydro, wind, are all emissions free.
And down here too.
And nuclear.
Solar, wind, and then can you repeat?
Sure, then the rest of them were nuclear, hydro, coal, and gas.
Honestly, I'm not sure, but it's 3 of them?
4 of them.
Four of
total.
them. I want to say gas.
But coal is not. Coal has emissions. I think that's the only one.
You don't think natural gas has emissions?
Oh, natural gas probably does, and nuclear does. I would think that wind and water are two that don't have an emission.
Many survey takers did not necessarily understand the differences between emissions-free electricity and 100% renewables. The purpose of the question was to see whether survey takers could distinguish between the two and whether they would place a higher value on emissions reductions or a higher value on renewables. Responses indicate that the respondents favor renewables more so than they do for emissions-free electricity generation, which begs the question, why pay a higher premium for renewables than for emissions-free electricity? One possible answer is that respondents associate renewables with clean energy, but do not make the same association with the term emissions-free. The overall results of the survey tend to confirm that knowledge does not alone lead to altering of people's behaviors and lifestyles towards energy savings, nor does it affect attitudinal and behavioral consistency. Respondents clearly feel an individual responsibility to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. At the same time, they know that solar, wind, hydro, and nuclear are emissions-free technologies, but are only willing to pay more for solar, wind, and hydro, and not nuclear. The value of this information is still fairly abstract, especially since a large segment of the population recognizes the importance of reducing greenhouse gas emissions, but is simultaneously unable, unwilling, or not sure how to personally impact the situation. The ability to analyze and utilize this data is important financially, environmentally, and politically. With the recent unveiling of the Green New Deal and an interesting microscope placed on climate change and environmental policies, an energy-literate public will be necessary to ensure that public policies actually result in desired greenhouse gas emission reductions.